Hello, Soap Opera Nation, and welcome back. It is my job as your host is to try to make some sense out of nonsense. So, my quick take of this interview is that Rena wanted to shine a light on Lawrence St. Victor while reflecting on her 9 years in daytime. However, the hosts of Dishing with Digest podcast, Stephanie Sloan and Mara Levinsky, didn't seem to understand the assignment. Not that I'm surprised, okay? Soap Opera Digest is not exactly known for its thought-provoking journalism. I think that the publication exists solely to write puff pieces on daytime stories and the players. So, though I applaud Rena's effort to be an advocate and an ally, I just think that this was the wrong platform for her message. However, daytime is a shrinking industry, so where else was she supposed to go? It's just unfortunate that the hosts of Dishing with Digest podcast didn't take what she was trying to say and turn it into something that could have been more. But anyway, let's break down the highlights. After giving some quick backstory about what made her return to daytime after leaving General Hospital, Rena basically gives two major factors that led her to leave Quinn and the Bold and the Beautiful behind. Number one, she says that at a certain point in her life, she always knew that when her youngest daughter was ready for college, that it would be a good time for her to take a step back and explore other type of acting work. Also,
The Bold and the Beautiful is really a show that focuses on Brooke and Steffi.
No lies told. And Rena goes on to say that this is the same no matter what soap opera you're on, and she had the same issue over at General Hospital. We've also heard this same sentiment from Jacob Young, who plays the ex-Rick Forrester. Recall the post that I did, I think it was sometime last year, where he was interviewed and someone asked him, do you ever plan on returning to The Bold and the Beautiful? And he said no. You know, the show hyper-focuses too much on one character at a time. As a reminder, Bold and the Beautiful has a runtime of 17 minutes. And Mr. Bell is clearly about Brooke and Steffi, and then there's everyone else when he gets around to it. But I have a simple solution for that problem. Cut 75% of the rinse and repeat dialogue that keeps cycling over and over and over on that show, and voila! Suddenly, you have oodles of time to devote to other characters and storylines. Problem solved. Rena says that the heartbreak with daytime as an actor is that you want your character to be more than what the people who created the show want that character to be, right? You're heavily invested. She says that I just didn't want to devote any more years butting into Wyatt's life or telling Brooke what a horrible person she is. It became apparent that she would be doing just that when the show finally came to her and said, girl, we don't know what to do with Quinn.
Hey girl, can you hang around in limbo until we throw some shit up on the writer's wall to see what sticks?
So you mean to tell me that Bell & Co. let Rena's contract expire in May without a word as to what they wanted to do with Quinn and what direction they wanted the story to go? So it comes as a shock to no one that Rena, as an actor, as a professional, would say, no thanks, that doesn't work for me. Just, cut my last check and have it ready for me on my last day of taping. The living audacity. I guess Bold, this is just a guess now. I guess Bold operates on the point of view that it's a privilege to be on their show. If they don't know what to do with you, you should just, sit around somewhere and just collect dust until they call you in. By the way, Rena said that she disagreed. She felt that Quinn had way more story to tell. At this point before taping, Quinn had not yet divorced from Eric, and there was a small matter of being half of a very popular pairing known as Quarter. But no! Is your name Brooke or Steffi? No? Well then, bye Felicia. Moving on to the last day of filming. Rena said that the production crew stopped filming and wished her congratulations, made a couple speeches, and then they gave her the opportunity for her to say a few words. And at this point, at the end of her speech, she says,
"Dressing rooms are by seniority. He's been there longer than I have, and he still doesn't have his own dressing room," which I think is wrong.
Okay, so a couple of things here to recap. Lawrence has been there longer than she has, and yet he doesn't have his own dressing room. One of the hosts replied to this bombshell by saying, "Love it!" Love it? Seriously? No follow-up question as to, what do you mean that he doesn't have his own dressing room? He's been on the show a very long time. Who has dressing rooms versus who doesn't have dressing rooms? Like, those would have been the natural questions that if I was doing the interview, I would ask. It's not hard, right? But instead, it's just like they just let the bombshell just drop and then they go, "Love it!" What do you love about that? She's giving you some pertinent information as to something that is not right that's going down at the Bold and the Beautiful. She's letting it be known, and your response is love it. Ugh. So they pivot next to Rena's favorite Quinn moments, and she answers that she really loved torturing Liam and the Adam and Eve storyline between her and Liam. She loves the storyline where she and Eric first got together, and of course, Quarter. Those were her top 3. This leads Rena to mention how proud she was to be part of the erectile dysfunction storyline that led John McCook to get a Daytime Emmy, because it also was a catalyst to showcase, finally, Carter's leading man material status.
The fact that I got to be a part of showing the Bold and the Beautiful and all of the fans out there what a leading man Carter is. I feel better about that than I feel about anything.
Once again, I feel like Rena was throwing the host a bone. I want you guys to think about this. Think about the fact that this talented man has been on this show for a very, very long time, but he's mostly operated in a one-dimensional capacity. If it was me, I would have said, "Tell me a little bit more about that." You just basically said that out of your entire 9 years in daytime, even though you've accomplished a lot, you are more proud of working with Lawrence and Victor and shining a light on his amazing talent. You're more proud of that than anything else. That's a huge statement to make. And the host just says, "Yeah, oh yeah, we love Lawrence and Victor too. We'll get to him later." I mean, really? You nothing else of substance? That's all you can think of to respond with? Oh my God, such a disappointment. Next, the hosts move on to asking Rena what is she gonna miss most about working on The Bold and the Beautiful. And the subject of Bold and the Beautiful's wardrobe comes up.
Most of the time, I loved Quinn's wardrobe. It was such a pain in the ass to Glenda when she was there because I always wanted to change her wardrobe when her life changed.
Let's pause a moment here and reminisce on the bold and the hideous era of 2020 to 2021. Some of you will remember that the fashion got really bad around 2020 when this woman named, and I have to pause here to look up her name, pronounce it properly, Erica Pellicini Lehman was named as Bold and the Beautiful's executive fashion assistant. At the time, Lehman did an interview with WWD where she describes her aesthetic that she planned to bring to the cast as a blend of LA casual and Italian glamour, mixing high fashion with high street brands. Now here's Erica making a cameo on the Netflix show Emily in Paris.
Well, you should follow him. He's Kashmir Good Boy on Instagram, and he just hit 200,000 followers.
Let's take a look back on the hideous, Bold and the Beautiful era that Erica ushered in. It's worth noting here that after 8 years on The Bold and the Beautiful and 5 Daytime Emmys for outstanding wardrobe, Glenda Maddox, who Rena mentions as, loving to work with her, was obviously forced to work with Erica and her fashion aesthetic and basically said, "You know what? Oh no, baby, Not on my watch. She took one look at Zoe's hideous three-headed dragon Gucci pink dress and just said, I can't have this attached to my name. Bye. So homegirl updated her resume and she's now working for Fox Studios. Back to dressing room gate. The two hosts that obviously don't want to ruffle any feathers in daytime and ask any tough questions, instead asks Rena what was her reactions to the fans' response to Quarter. Notice that in Rena's response, she's acknowledging that up until the Quarter pairing, Carter functioned as nothing more than a one-trick pony on The Bold and the Beautiful. Why? Why has Carter been backburned this whole time when it's so obvious that the man has talent and can carry his weight with the rest of them? Perhaps a certain ex-Bold and the Beautiful writer could shed some light on the issue.